challenges, in our opinion, seem to have overwhelmed our security institutions.
The governors are supposed to be the state security officers of their state.
There is need for us to at least engage the traditional rulers.
We need to do something about our porous borders.
We have to own it from the unit level to the ward level to the local government to state.
Mr. President, the importance of today for us is for us to take action.
Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
We need to spread such specialized hospitals across the country.
Senate worries over the rate of kidney disease and calls for the establishment of treatment centers.
In the PA now, state can legally generate power, transmit and distribute without any hindrance.
And new horizon for electricity supply in Nigeria as Senate passes bill empowering states and individuals to generate power. This is Inside the Senate, and I am your regular host, Husaina Amina Abuki. Upon resumption from the Sallah break on Tuesday, the 19th of July 2022, the Senate considered two bills at second reading. One of the bills seeks the establishment of a kidney research and treatment center in Hadejia, while the other seeks to entrench the ease of doing business in Nigeria. Reports on how the debate on these bills went, alongside other deliberations in the Senate chamber, make up part of the program. We also have reports from the committee room as the Senate considered an amendment to the Industrial Training Fund. Stay tuned for details of these coming your way after the break.
The Senate to send a message to the President
To reap opportunities from that.
To raise a matter of urgent public importance. And we are aware that when this particular motion comes up for a longer term development, arise to second the motion.
Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Wednesday, the 20th of February 2022, saw the Senate considering several bills for second reading. One of them sought the establishment of a kidney research and treatment center in Hadejia, Jigawa State. It was sponsored by Senator Ibrahim Hadejia. For details of how the deliberations on this bill and others went, let's take this report as compiled and presented from our studio.
Studies reveal that chronic kidney disease (CKD) has become a major health problem in Nigeria, with an estimated prevalence at about 20% of the nation's population, or 6% higher than the African average, translating to an estimated 25 million Nigerians suffering from the disease. According to research, the disease is attributable to untreated hypertension, diabetes, as well as runoff from toxic matters and chemicals found in agricultural inputs, amongst other things. It was based on these findings that Senator Ibrahim Hassan Hadejia sponsored a bill for an act to establish the Federal Nephrology and Kidney Research and Treatment Center, Hadejia. In his lead debate, Senator Ibrahim Hassan disclosed that studies have revealed that Jigawa and Yobe states have the highest prevalence of kidney disease. He highlighted the extent to which they are affected as revealed by studies conducted by some research institutes.
Another study conducted by Nat'l, that's the National Research Institute for Chemical Technology Zaria in 2015, confirmed the abnormally high incidence of CKD in the Hadejia Valley with a prevalence that is 3 times the national average. The study also confirmed the presence of heavy metals and other environmental toxins in the water supply and in the sample liver of local livestock and poultry. This is why the siting of a kidney research and treatment center in Hadejia becomes imperative. There is an urgent need to locate a center of excellence dedicated to establishing the causative factors and treatment options in the renal disease epicenter of Nigeria for the benefit of kidney disease patients nationwide.
Senators supported the second reading of the bill.
Hadejia and Yobe states came up as a very, very epicenter for this disease. Therefore, establishing a kidney center that will carry out research that will not only focus on treatment, but on prevention, which is key in modern medicine today.
We need to spread such specialized hospitals across the country. Nigeria is a vast country.
And I know if we have this center in only Hadejia area, it will attract patients from across the country.
The bill then scaled second reading and was referred to the Senate Committee on Health to report back in 4 weeks. Also considered for second reading was a bill for an act to provide for the ease of doing business, sponsored by Senator Ajayi Borofish. He explained that when passed, the bill would entrench transparency, efficiency, and productivity in doing business in Nigeria. He spoke further on the objectives of the bill.
The core objectives of the bill are to, 1, ensure efficiency in public service in terms of time, cost, and procedure for doing business. 2, improve transparency. 3, promote best global practices as best fit in Nigerian context. 4, remove outdated provisions from the relevant laws. 5, provide incentives to encourage micro, small, and medium enterprises, MSMEs, participation in business. 6, promote good governance practices through public-private partnership, PPs. And 7, easy amendment of all relevant related legislative frameworks in future.
The presentation attracted one comment.
Generally, in Nigeria, it is very difficult to make business. In Nigeria, there are quite a lot of cumbersome rules and laws, and which should also be changed. Then what is happening? The whole thing is cumbersome, that when people come here, they find it even difficult to go ahead and make business. And therefore, the objective of the bill here is to make things easier, much easier for everybody to come in and make business.
With this, the bill scaled second reading and was referred to the Senate Committee on Trade and Investment to report back in 2 weeks. The Senate also passed the Electricity Bill 2022. This followed the report of the Committee on Power, which worked on it. Chairman of the committee, Senator Gabriel Suswan, in the report gave the objectives of the bill.
The bill will eliminate, through policy and regulatory measures, barriers to investment in generation, transmission, distribution, and related subsector in the electricity industry in Nigeria. Mr. President, this one deals with situation where state, in the bill now, state can legally generate power, transmit, and distribute without any hindrance. Any individual who have the capacity can do same.
This was followed by a clause-by-clause consideration of the report in the Committee of the Whole, leading to the passage of the bill.
Formation of appointment.
The Senate also received the report of the Committee of Banking, which screened a presidential nominee, Umar Yahaya, for the position of co-chairman of the Governing Council of the Unclaimed Funds Trust Fund. The committee's recommendation was presented by the chairman, Senator Obasani.
The Committee on Banking, Insurance and Other Financial Institutions, having screened the nominee and been satisfied with his experience, suitability, and academic qualifications, hereby recommends that the Senate do confirm the nomination of Umar Yahaya as co-chairman of the Governing Council of Unclaimed Funds Trust Fund.
As a result, the nominee was confirmed in the Committee of the Whole.
Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Earlier on Tuesday, the 19th of July 2022, the Senate Deputy Leader announced the demise of Honorable Jude Ise Idehe, representing Oha Federal Constituency of Edo State in the House. He died on Friday, the 1st of July 2022. Deputy Senate President, who presided over plenary on that day, also gave his nod for the adjournment.
As is customary, when we lose a colleague either here or in the other chambers, we will suspend proceedings.
Accordingly, plenary was therefore suspended in honor of the deceased lawmaker. A 1-minute silence was also observed in honor of the honorable member.
May the soul of our colleague, the Honorable Jude Idehe, who represents the Oka Federal Constituency in Edo State, may so rest in perfect peace. Amen.
Those were highlights from Senate plenary upon resumption from the short recess. Next is our notebook segment. Stay tuned for our subject of the week.
The rules guiding membership of Senate committees provide that each special and standing committee shall comprise of not less than 5 members and more than 10 members, including the chairman and vice chairman. The rules also provide that no senator shall serve as a member of more than 3 committees, while committee chairmen shall not serve as members of more than 2 other committees. The rules, however, do not cover the selection committee, of which none of its members is allowed to be a committee chairman, but can serve as a member of other committees as provided for by the rules.
Welcome back. Earlier on, we took reports from Senate plenary where critical bills were considered both at second and third readings. Inside the Senate continues with reports from the committee room, starting with a public hearing organized by the Senate Committee on Industries on a bill for an act to amend the Industrial Training Fund Act 2022.
I am most pleased to be here at this crucial public hearing on the Industrial
The public
Training Fund
hearing
Act.
was declared open by the Senate President as represented by the Deputy Whip of the Senate, Senator Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi. The Senate President emphasized the importance of the Industrial Training Fund, ITF, saying that it provides requisite skills and the human resources needed for the growth and development of the Nigerian economy.
The fund is central to the production of manpower in the light of the growing sophistication of the value chain of goods and services, in encouraging relevant skills for commerce and industry, towards increasing the indigenous workforce that can meet our local needs. The fund is focused on advancement efforts. High-quality personnel are central to the management of economic processes and procedures, despite the rising importance of automation.
Earlier in a welcome address, the committee chairman said that the proposed amendment seeks to cure the inadequacies in the current act, which have led to non-adherence to the requirement of proof of up-to-date contributions to the fund by persons and corporate organizations covered by the act.
The proposed amendments also seek to address the challenge of inadequate deterrence or punishments for forgery of the fund's certificate of compliance and other official documents and the absence of concise interpretation of some key words and phrases used in the act.
Also speaking, the Director General of ITF said the amendment would also empower the Nigerian population with the necessary skills for employability and entrepreneurship.
Population itself can be an advantage, and we want to leverage on this comparative advantage of having a huge population. A skilled manpower or a skilled population can be a source of earning direct foreign investment for the nation when they go out. But where they are not skilled, we would be faced with challenges of restiveness, kidnappings, prostitution, banditry, armed banditry, and what we are facing in our country today.
The Nigerian Association of Medium and Small Enterprises, MSME, represented by its vice chairman, suggested the following clauses to the amendment.
1. Establishment of training center in the 774 local governments. 2. Certification of training by ITF. And 3. Collaboration and inclusion of BMOs into the governing board of ITF.
Next was the representative of the Nigerian Contest Development and Monitoring Board. They suggested more areas in which the amendment should focus on.
First is that the fund should focus more on competence-based training, so that when people get trained here, they can find use globally, internationally, and we don't need to retrain. Second is that the training should focus on professional, technical, non-technical, vocational skills that are certifiable.
The positions of the Trade Union Congress, TUC, as well as the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, were presented by Dr. Ayo Olurufemi and Barrister Benson Upa, respectively.
We want to pray, and very fervently, that the stakeholders here, the individuals who are here, the honorable distinguished member of this committee, and as a matter of fact, the entire Senate should pass this amendment into law.
Before the 2011 amendment to the Act establishing the ITF, Nigeria Labour Congress was a statutory member of the board. But following the 2011 amendment, it became an alternate member of the board, alternating with TUC on a one-yearly basis. However, for the past 4 years, NLC has not been be part of that board. And arising from that, I would like to raise a query who was performing the functions of the board. This is important in order to eliminate administrative slips occasioned by the one-year alternate representation between the NLC and TUC, especially given the short time span for the alternation.
Some of the committee members made comments directed at the management of the ITF.
One area that I want to dwell on briefly is the issue of distribution of your offices. One of the presenters did mention that you need to spread your offices across the local governments, all local governments in Nigeria. That may not be possible. But what I want to suggest here is that where there exists a skill acquisition center that is of modern standard, I think you need to partner with such skill acquisition centers within the senatorial districts.
Right now, a lot of countries are taking advantage of tech online jobs. India is getting a lot of those jobs and coming back into Lagos to pay some of our youths peanuts to do those jobs. So I would like to see what ITF will do in that regards.
The purpose of this ITF from the time I was in school was for ITF to add value to the teachings in the university, to the teachings in the polytechnic, to the teachings in this, secondary, technical schools. But you still find that in Nigeria today we're importing common technicians, artisans that lay tiles. Today we don't have technicians, that good electricians are not found in the market. So this bill, in my view, I thought there would be people opposing, but I've not had accepting saying we should be incorporated as members of the board. I think they have presented their papers and their positions. The honor lies with us now to go and decide what they have presented and bring what is good for the best of Nigeria so that ITF will now be positioned to do their work properly.
With this, the session ended with a promise by the committee to compile its finding for presentation to Senate plenary for the next legislative action.
On that note, we bring this session to a close. Thank you very much, everybody.
1. Change and include.
In another committee room, the Committee on Basic and Secondary Education, alongside other stakeholders, deliberated on the outcome of a public hearing on the National Senior Secondary Education Commission Act 2022. Declaring the session open, Vice Chairman of the committee, Senator Akon Eyakenyi, disclosed one of the objectives of the bill as being to address the abandonment of the senior secondary education in terms of regulatory and financial intervention, which have all been extended to the primary and junior secondary levels through UBEC and the tertiary levels through TED Fund. Others, according to her, include
1. Change and include free, compulsory, safe, qualitative, and universal education in the long title, objectives and application of the bill under Clause 2, in alignment with the international frameworks and standards on education, such as the Sustainable Development Goal. Correct the name of NERDC, that's the National Education, to include Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, responsible for the registration and licensing of qualified teachers in Nigeria.
Stakeholders took turns to articulate their opinions on some of the clauses in the proposed legislation having to do with free secondary education.
The issue of free and compulsory education should not be tackled at this point, simply because the financial implications, the infrastructural obligations are what most states will definitely want to achieve at their own pace. So what my ministry will want is for this distinguished committee, they agree with the committee that we could have and enforce minimum standards. The key phrase is enforce minimum standards, can provide safe, qualitative, universal education.
With respect to whether or not the title of the bill should include free, compulsory, and universal, I think with the importance of education, we all know, though there are challenges of funding with respect to implementation at the state level because of capacity, but it is pertinent to note that with the Sustainable Development Goal 4, secondary education should be free.
We are well aware of the current economic situation in the country. We know that it is not going to be possible as it is right now to have free compulsory education. Following the passage of this bill, we can have a policy. You know, the government can work towards a policy, work towards collaboration and involving stakeholders. We can't go with free now. We can't go with free.
After a clause-by-clause perusal of the clauses of the bill alongside contributions and observations by the lawmakers and stakeholders, the committee's vice chairman gave their recommendations as follows.
That we have deleted free and compulsory. And then establishment of the National Senior Secondary Education Commission and its governing board retained. The next clause, clause 3, establishment of the National Senior Secondary Education Commission retained.
Those were reports from the committee rooms. We'll now take a break for our profile segment. Stand by for our Senator of the Week.
Senator Sahabi Hadejia represents Zamfara North Senatorial District, first under PDP before changing to APC last year. He holds a master's degree in business administration and a postgraduate diploma in management. He was elected to the Senate in 2007 under AMPP and served till 2011 before joining PDP. He contested again in 2019. The result of that election suggested that he, along with other PDP contestants, lost. However, a court ruling gave them victory, as a result of which he returned to the Senate. In the 9th Senate, Senator Hadejia was the deputy minority leader, a position he abdicated following his change from PDP to APC. He is a member of several committees. His legislative interests include education, security, and agriculture, among other things.
With this, we come to the end of our program this week. Join us next week for another package, and thanks for watching.